Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Saturday, happy Labor Day weekend. How you guys doing? Hey Miguel, Chadwick, who's out fishing right now? Anybody out there? Let me know if you can hear me all right, and give it a like and a thumbs up or whatever. We'll kind of get into things going on here. Um, just letting you know, King Week is just a week away. You got to sign up by next Friday. Um, Shore fishing division's a little weak, guys. It's wide open, so get shore fishermen get in. A lot of opportunity to win some money there. So if you guys are interested, it's $50 for big fish and $50 for big five. If you guys will be fishing hard next week, there's definitely some fish to be caught. So definitely get in on that. In order to sign up, you can just give me a call at the shop here. We can get you signed up that way. You can go on the website under the Brawl page and look for the form that says King Week. You can sign up on there. Different ways to do that. So let me know. And of course, there's a boat and a kayak division as well. Kayak division always gets the most. Every kayaker usually is pretty excited for the fall king run. I know I am too. It's just starting off. It should be good. I think the forecast kind of keeps changing on us. This past week the forecast changed quite a bit. Last weekend I thought that we were going to have some colder water going into this weekend, and not long after I said that, then the forecast changed. We ended up getting more north winds, and we had some great fishing last Saturday, and we went back out on Sunday, and the cold water really had gone down quite a bit lower. So thank you. Um, so yeah, things have changed quite a bit. There's a lot of warm water in close right now, but it's not like as bad as I thought it was going to be. We'll get into that with my fishing report in a little bit, but there is still plenty of cold water out there. It's just a little tougher for the guys fishing for stagers near shore. But yeah, we'll get into that. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have your own fishing reports, I'd love to hear them. What else is going out there? The Brawl is 2 weeks away. Sign-ups are open for that. So, again, if you need help signing up for that, give me a call at the shop. Otherwise, the form is up on the website. So, yeah, that's not too far away. It's the final leg. So, it should be interesting to see who comes away with it. Last year at the end of the Brawl, there were some definite changes in the leaderboard. So, we'll see what happens again this year. All right. Hey, Reed, SBG, Nicholas, Mike, good morning. So we'll see. Let's get into what's new at the shop. I have skein available for purchase. So kind of blurry on there, but see if we can get it. Kind of hard to see. The container doesn't want to focus right. But anyways, we'll just drop it on the floor. But yeah, skein available. I have a lot of it. It's really good stuff. It's probably some of the best stuff I've ever been able to get here. So if you guys need skein, if you have a shortage of eggs, whatever, pick some up. Hopefully that'll help you get a king so you can have your own eggs. And of course, if you do have your own eggs, you need to cure it. We have all the cures. We can walk you through what to do with it. It's easy to do. But yeah, we've got the Atlas, we have the Potski, we have Procure, all that kind of stuff. So it's really not hard to do. It's just a little messy sometimes. So, but yeah, if you need some, we've got that. We've got the slip bobbers, all that kind of stuff. All right. Gold and silver junkie. Is it really that hard to catch kings from pier or shore? Every time I go out, I come back empty-handed. You know what? We've kind of been cursed with warm water, and warm water, at least around here on this part of the lake, the last 2 years we've been stuck with a lot of warm water, and warm water definitely makes that bite more difficult. It's really about putting in your time, and I have to say, especially this early in the run, when you have this kind of warm water, your time is going to be best spent in low light or in the dark, and you're just going to have to be there at the right time, because what you see are these bite windows where you go a couple hours and no one's caught anything, you don't even see fish, and then all of a sudden, just like that, 5 people hook up within a couple minutes of each other, and there's about a half hour of activity, and then it dies back down, and then you're stuck waiting for the next flurry of activity. You don't really know when that's going to be. When we have colder water, these bite windows are definitely expanded, and you can catch them into the daylight much longer. or much earlier in the evening before it gets dark, and sometimes sporadically throughout the day. Looking at the forecast, it's possible after next week we can get some colder water. Next weekend's calling for some pretty decent south winds, and that could bring the um, cold water closer to shore. So just do that. And again, it's really just about putting in your time. It's all I can say about it. It's not the easiest kind of fishing, but when you do get those fish, it's rewarding. Hey, Lex. Water is about 62 to 80 foot down still. Yeah, I was out this morning and we had a little bit colder, about 50 feet down once we got a little bit further out. Actually, like 80 feet down, we had 49. We found our break was about 60 feet down and we had about 51 right there. But I think it really just depends on where you're at. I thought it was going to be much worse than that. I thought it was going to be down like 100 or 120. And if you're closer to shore than we are, it's going to be like that. If you stayed in 100 feet, yeah, it's going to be a little bit warmer further down. But out deep, it wasn't that bad. So that was encouraging because last year at this time, we had those bad north winds and that cold water was pushed way further out. So even if you were out in 200 last year, you had to get down well over 100 feet to find cold water. And this year, we're in a much better position. We just need to get those good winds, those south winds that bring that cold water back in. Good morning. Fished briefly from shore on Trail Creek last Sunday. Nothing. It was too nautical for us to go out. Where's the thermocline down south? We do not have a fish hog. Down there, I haven't talked to anybody down there. So I don't really know what the thermocline's like down on that part of the lake. I would imagine it's at least 60 feet down, depending on where you're at, though. What windy app do you use? I use Fish Weather and the Windy app, and lately I feel like Fish Weather's been a little bit better than the Windy app, but that's what I use. Morning, Mo. Morning, JG. How far did we go? Well, we made it out to 210, but I'll get into more details when I get into the fishing report. Hey, Russell. Right at sunrise and sunset, they will swing way out of temperature. That is true. They will do that. All right. Morning, Mark. Let's see. Lex says out of Milwaukee, it's slow. Yeah. We had pretty good reports all week, and then some people I heard was doing good. Our trip was just kind of okay. So, but yeah, I'll get into, I mentioned earlier I have the Nova floats here. We have the skein here. Then some more treble hooks, more snap swivels, more P-line laser minnows, more KO wobblers came in, more on the way. So that's there's kind of fish out, or there's all sorts of random stuff coming in. One big thing is I did get a big shipment of crocodiles with some new colors. So this is the Glow Herring Aid. So it's got some reflective tape, a little greenish. It's pretty good looking color. I was happy to see that, especially another glow crocodile. That's a cool color there. There's this chartreuse reflex, which I think, if we get a decent daytime bite or a real clear night bite where you get, that's kind of hard to see there. It's not focusing very well. But anyways, cool color here. And then this one I actually got, this is called the Gold Nugget. And I know you can't really see it, at least when I'm looking at here, it's not focusing in on it. But anyways, this one's half gold, half silver with silver prism tape. This is going to be a brown trout killer. That's why I got that one right there. So you might see me casting this one later on the fall for those browns. So that's really it for the new stuff that came in this week. But again, we have fresh skein. It's good stuff. If you need skein, I heard of some fish being caught on skein already. So if you need it, we've got it. All right. Let's see. On our way from Janesville, hey, Brian, good luck fishing today. If you had your choice, where would you want the thermocline? To be honest with you, if I'm out in the boat fishing, not doing like staging fish, I want that thermocline to be like 50, 60 feet down. Maybe, yeah, right around 50, 60 feet, because downriggers are very effective at that depth. You're not fishing super deep where it's tough getting all the dipsies down there. or super long coppers or any of that kind of stuff, but you can catch them on 200 coppers. You can catch them on 300 coppers. You know, you can catch them on your downriggers just down 40, 50 feet. That's where I like it. That's just my preference. And once you get down to that like 60, 70-foot thermocline, that bite window seems to be longer because they're down deeper. Whereas when we have a thermocline that's up higher in the water column, we see the bite die a lot faster. And that's what we saw like in July during Salmonorama. By 7 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, the bite would just die because we had cold water up higher. But when you have the cold water down lower, a little less light penetration down there, and that bite extends to 8, 9 in the morning. All right. Is the early morning better to catch fish or the afternoon right now? Pretty much always early morning is better than afternoon. At prime time, don't be afraid to have a bait or two way high. All my biggest ones were caught out of temp. Yep, fish will feed out of temp, so don't worry about it if it's a little warmer than you think it should be. Can you fish skein or can you ship skein? No, I do not ship skein. It's only available in the store here. All right. So today, this is what we did. We started in 140, and there were some fish that were caught in shallower than us today in the 120s. There were some kings caught in there, but we decided we wanted to go back out, do something a little different because we've been just pounding that 100-foot, 120-foot range for kings all summer. So we decided we wanted to go deeper, find steelhead and cohos and that kind of thing. And we did okay. It wasn't our best trip. All week they had some really, really good trips for steelhead out deeper. And maybe we didn't make it far enough, but we started in 140. We got into the 160s and 170s. We started catching fish. We had a couple cohos, small king, a lake trout, and steelhead. And that was kind of it. We just kept heading east. And it dried up once we got out of the 170s. We stopped marking fish. We kept thinking, well, the further we go, the better it's going to get. And it really didn't. And we made it out to 215 and then decided to turn around. And then we turned around. And once we got back into the 170, we started marking fish again and all that. But then it was time to come in. So I had to get here. So that's what how our day worked out. But we caught fish on Dragon Slayer on a rigger down about 80. I had a 250 copper out. That took a fish with bad toad. And then a gold hud took a fish. We had a fish on Alien Breath on the other rigger. And then I switched that to T-Dub Stingray. And that took a fish. And then I think a couple other bites we missed. That's kind of like how the whole morning went. It wasn't fast action. We caught a few fish. And maybe if we would have continued to head out to, 225, 250, we would have found more. But again, I had to get back here, and we probably should have started deeper if we wanted to make a trip like that. But there were fish all over the place. I know guys that had fish in the 160s. I know guys that caught fish in the 120s. I know people that were fishing right alongside of us that did much better than us. So there's a bunch of fish out there. It's kind of scattered all over, but it's nice, and you can kind of get away from everybody once you're out there. Because when we're fishing in shallow and everybody's trying to stick around the hill, that's when it gets crowded. So once you're out deep, then you're kind of on your own. But that's really my fish report today. It wasn't anything super exciting. We didn't get any big fish. We got some good eaters. So that was really it. How many days of south winds do you think to cool this water down? Well, it depends on how strong of a south wind. But if you get a solid 20 plus out of the south or southeast for a day or two, I'm thinking like 2 days to get cold. 3 days to get cold water near shore. It just depends on how strong that wind is. 2 days, a solid, or like 1 or 2 days just to bring the thermocline back up and closer to shore. But if you want it all the way to shore, that cold water for the staging kings, I think it's going to take a solid 3 days. And to be honest with you, we can't keep any wind in any direction for more than like a day and a half. So we'll see what happens there. But later next week and into the weekend, there's definitely predicting some south winds that I saw. Well, hopefully that remains the case as we get into next week, because that's what we really need. What do you think about the Danielson two-sided glow spoons? I have not tried those yet. I've heard some good things about them from a couple people, but overall, I haven't had a lot of feedback. They look pretty good though, so I don't see any reason not to try them. They look good. So, anybody have any other fishing questions? I'm happy to answer while I can before next batch of customers come in here. But yeah, let's see what else I can think of. There was good reports out of Waukegan out deep as well. In the shore fishing report, there have been fish being caught from shore. I didn't get any reports out of Waukegan from shore. So if anybody's been casting from Waukegan this week, let me know. But we had those northeast winds, and that's a little tougher to fish Waukegan in those conditions than it is some of the other harbors like Kenosha. The Kenosha, I know of a good handful of kings that were caught on all sorts of stuff. Some on spoons, some on skein, some on crankbaits. Guys been buying flicker shad. Oh, and by the way, we have the custom flicker shad and custom reef runners being painted right now by Mr. Chrome. So maybe next week or the week after they'll be here when they're all done. He did a great job last year, so I can't wait to see him again this year. There'll be a new color this year as well. Inland, the walleye trolling is heating up. That's awesome. You fishing Geneva, Delavan, or are you going further north? What depth would be considered way high early? Well, as far as I'm concerned, way high would really just be in it'd be relative to where the thermocline is. So if the thermocline is down 50 feet, but I'm catching fish on a 3-color, I would consider that really high, like 12, 15 feet down. But, if the thermocline is down 80 feet, I might consider a 10-color and 40 feet, 45 feet down to be way high. So it really, as far as I'm concerned, it's just where is that thermocline and that. How long do you keep running before you turn around or pull and move to on a no bite? Well, usually, like if we've had a couple of bites, our styles we usually turn back on them pretty quick. It just depends on what we're marking. We start marking fish, we start catching fish, we'll keep going. We don't want to change too much, but sometimes it dries up a little bit, and then it's that gamble. Do you keep going and see if there's another group of fish up ahead, or you go back? And sometimes it just is dictated by the boat traffic out there. Sometimes we'll see it looks pretty crowded up ahead, and we caught a bunch of fish back behind us. We're just going to turn around and go back to those fish. Today, we didn't have that as an issue. We should have turned back around, and we didn't. And that kind of killed it for us because by the time that we got back to the fish, then it was time to come in. So you kind of have to just, use your judgment in every situation. Like I said, sometimes the boat traffic just dictates what you can do out there. Oh, big green, cool. I have not fished big green before. So, all right. Well, I've got some customers coming in now, so I'm gonna let you guys go. That's it for now. I'll talk to you guys next week. Good luck fishing, and again, get signed up for King Week and the Big Pond Brawl. And if you have any questions about anything or how to do anything, or if you need any setups, of course, you know how to get a hold of me here at the shop, or check us out online at lakemichiganangler.com. We'll talk to you again next week.